So a couple weeks back, I made a video talking about VTSAX and exactly what it was. It was pretty much a beginner's guide, and my email and DM blew up from people that loved the video, that were down for VTSAX, but they wanted to know the next step. They wanted to know, how do I buy it? How do I set up a Vanguard account? The whole nine. So in this video, I want to go through, show you how to open a Vanguard account, and then how you can add VTSAX or any other mutual fund from Vanguard to your Roth IRA or other accounts inside Vanguard. Before we dive into that, if you are new to the channel, my name is Brad. I make videos with tips and motivation on how to get out of debt, save money, invest for retirement, all in the hopes that we all can reach financial independence. There is no shame in being a little bit intimidated by opening up a Roth IRA or investing in mutual funds. I have been there. If you've seen the film Playing with Fire, even Scott and Taylor had to call customer service and help themselves get through the process. So don't feel ashamed, but don't let that intimidation keep you from doing it. It's a really, really simple process, and I promise you, if I could do it and I could learn from somebody 2 years ago that didn't even know what a Roth IRA was to now having almost $10,000 in it, you can do the same. And if Vanguard's not your style and you want to go with another company, the processes I'm going to show you are pretty much the same for each company, so you could pretty much apply it to whatever institution that you'd like. So let's get started. Let's get you investing in your Roth IRA. For those of you that already have a Vanguard account, you can skip ahead a little bit. I'm going to go through the process of starting one, but if you don't have one, here's from scratch. First thing we're going to want to do is go to Vanguard.com. From this homepage, you'll see a tab that says Investing. If you click on that tab and go down below, you will see Open an Account. You are going to click Open a New Account. Next, they're going to start to ask you a couple different questions about your financial journey and what your goals specifically are. The next thing they're going to want to know is, how are you going to fund this account? Now, just in general purposes, most of us are going to be using some sort of checking account. So you're going to want to click Electronic Bank Transfer or another Vanguard account. The next page is going to be there to ensure that you don't have another Vanguard account. So it's going to ask you once again, if you don't, you're going to say, no, I'm not registered. Next, it's going to bring you to a page, and it's pretty much going to give you a rundown of the things that you're going to need. Simply, you're going to need a bank routing number and also your bank account. And legally, they need to know the information about your employer. And even if you are self-employed, you still have an address or some sort of PO box, you're going to need those two bits of information, and then generally what type of account you want to open. When you click next, it's going to bring you to that page where you are going to choose your account type. Now in this example, we're going to open a Roth IRA, but this would be the same if you were going to open a brokerage account, a traditional IRA, a 529, or any sort of account for investing that you would want to open, you would choose that right here. And this isn't exactly set in stone. This is just to get you started. Once you open that online account, you are going to be able to add things later. So say you don't want a 529 now, but you're going to want one later. Don't worry about not clicking 529 now. You'll be able to add things as you go on. So right now, just as for general, let's just open a Roth IRA. Next, they're going to ask what your goal for your money is. And I'm not really sure why they ask this information. Maybe it's for statistics or in case they want to market you to something later on down the line. But for me, I just put growth and income. And then it's going to ask for where the source of these funds are going to come. Mine just comes from retirement/general savings. You can look at the different options there, but for most of us, that's where the funds are going to come from. The next screen is where you're going to start to put in your personal information. Now, I've already done this, so I didn't want to go through it again, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to need things like your social security number and your address, pretty basic information about you. This is how they're going to contact you, how they're going to mail you invoices, and make sure that you're a real person. The next tab will be establishing funds. Now, this is the part that kind of takes a day or two when you're first setting up your account. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to go in, you're going to put in your routing number and your bank account. And then what Vanguard is going to do is in a business day or so, they're going to put 2 transfers into your bank. And it's going to be like 34 cents and 68 cents. It's going to be 2 random deposits into your bank account. That's how they're going to ensure that we have the right bank account for the right person. When you see that hit your checking account, you go back to Vanguard. You'll already have a login. Then you're going to put in those 2 deposit amounts, 34 cents and 64 cents. And that's how you link a bank account with Vanguard. Once you have all that set up, then you're just going to review, you're going to sign some paperwork, it's going to be all great, done online, and then you have an online account, you are ready for the fun stuff. So now that you set up your online account and you've linked a bank, it is time to invest in some mutual funds. We're going to go to investing, account type, and then for this case, a Roth IRA. It'll bring you to a page, and on the top right, you will see open a Roth IRA. Click that and we can begin. So first, let's understand exactly what this IRA is doing. So the IRA is a vehicle, and then we're going to throw a bunch of things inside, and we are going to make that vehicle run. Now, there's pretty much going to be two basic parts. There's going to be some sort of settlement fund, and then there are going to be your investments on top of that. The settlement fund that Vanguard uses is the Vanguard Federal Money Market Account. And like I said, it's generally just a savings account. It returns a little less than 2% interest, which is less than my favorite Capital One money market account. So I don't personally use it as a savings account, but if you hated online banks or something, this would be a place where you could open a savings account with Vanguard and let that money sit inside of that settlement fund. But you need to understand that these are different from your investments. I heard horror stories of people that had been contributing to their Roth IRA for years, but it was just going into that settlement account and not into investments. So essentially for 10 years, they just had a glorified savings account. After you put money into that settlement fund, you have to then take the second step and move money into your investments. Now for me, I just have VTSAX, but you can add as many funds here as you want. Then when you go in later and start putting money in, you get to choose your funds and how much you want to contribute to each one. I'll show you that in just a second. Now to put money into the settlement fund or into VTSAX, you're going to go to the top where it says buy and sell, and then towards the bottom it'll say contribute to a Roth IRA. Here it'll tell you what the contribution limits are for your specific year, and also tell you how much money you've contributed into your Roth IRA so far that year. And remember, you have till April 15th to fund and max out that Roth IRA. Now, because it's a Roth IRA and it's not an employee-sponsored plan, you'll just click no for that particular option. And then below that, when you come back, you will see all the funds that are inside your IRA. So for me, like I said, I just have the Federal Money Market Account, and I also just have VTSAX. But this is also the place where you are now going to add whatever funds you'd like. Once you've added the funds that you want, in this case, we're talking about VTSAX, you will see a little box next to that fund. You have the option. You could put money into your settlement fund or into VTSAX. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, here's a couple reasons why. So you might want to put money right into the settlement fund as kind of like your inbox. Then you could take the money from there and you could distribute it into the different funds inside your Roth IRA. Another reason to go into the settlement fund first would be you're just not ready to invest. Maybe we're on a super high spike, and I'm not saying you should ever try and time the market, so this isn't the best option, but maybe you just want to hold the money there in a settlement fund until you make your final decisions or you're doing research about a new mutual fund. It's a holding place for your money getting 2% interest, so pretty much keeping up or, if anything, losing money to inflation. And the last case in which you might want to use that settlement fund, and it's the reason that I had to, because some funds inside Vanguard have minimum investment amounts. For VTSAX right now, it's currently $3,000. So if you don't have that upfront $3,000 to start, you can't invest in VTSAX right now. So what you do is you start building up that settlement account until you get to $3,000, and then boom, you can invest it in. Now, it's not $3,000 every time. It's just to get that initiated. After you have that $3,000 and you've bought VTSAX, then you can contribute partial shares as you grow that account. Personally, right now, I'm just gonna go right into VTSAX. So I'm gonna click that box and it's gonna ask me how much I wanna contribute. I'm gonna put that amount right there. Once I click continue, it's gonna ask me where I'd like those funds to come from. And you'll see a couple options. You have that settlement account. So if you've been building up that settlement account, you can move the money right from there into VTSAX. This would be the case where you're trying to save $3,000. Now you have $3,000 in that settlement account. You would fund VTSAX from right here. Me, I have a couple different bank accounts that I've attached to this Vanguard account. So I'll just choose one of those banks. And if later on you want to add another bank, you could do so from this spot as well. It will ask you to review and submit, and that is it. You wait a couple days, just like when you pay your student loans. You got to wait for the banks to talk to one another. You have to wait for the funds to move. But it's as simple as that. You can do this all on an automated system. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of automation. That's how I have mine set up. Pretty much takes the money out, puts it right into VTSAX. If that's something that you want me to explain to you how to do, let me know in the comments below. Just be like, hey Brad, can you show me how to set up automated investments? I will help you out with that. I'll make a video just like this, showing you exactly how you can have on a specific day of the month, money come right from your checking account, right into your IRA, and you never have to worry about it again. I hope this video helped to ease some of that intimidation of investing in Vanguard and VTSAX. If it did, please, I beg you, give this video a thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm. If you're still not sure what VTSAX is, I will put that video right here. It's a perfect explanation for a beginner. Down here, we'll give you something that YouTube thinks that you might want to watch. And until I see you on the next one, guys, stay positive, work really, really hard. Always importantly, be kind to other people. I hope you have an amazing day and a better tomorrow.